Morning, everybody.
You don't like to
Thank you for coming over. This is my last press briefing as council president, so just really wanted to kind of wrap everything up and just kind of do an overview of everything that we have accomplished recently, and hopefully just a little bit of what to expect going forward. Welcome my colleague, Vice President Katz, who is here, who's going to take the helm pretty soon and continue on with the work. So first of all, just want to reiterate how important it has been for this council to work together the entire year in a very deliberate fashion to pass racial equity and social justice legislation. I've already heard from a couple of other jurisdictions who have been tracking what we're doing and would really like to replicate this. And so I think that definitely this is poised to be a model that other jurisdictions would want to emulate, and very, very happy that it was unanimous and that everybody worked together in such an amazing way. One of the things that maybe a lot of people don't know is that this work really started with a really amazing workshop in January where 42 of the county top leadership in the county came together to talk about and learn, I think, in many cases, the history, root causes of the racial inequities and social justice issues. And then about 3 weeks ago, I think, we gathered again for another 2-day workshop looking at the history and also the background of racial equity and social justice issues in Latin America, from a lens that recognizes that this is a county that really is a microcosm of the nation and the world, and we do need to understand that this is not a homogeneous issue, but it's something that it's important to know where we've been and where we want to go. So that was, to me, one of the highlights of this process, and really excited about where we're going with this extraordinary work. As I said in my remarks when we adopted, we're about to pass the legislation. This is an instrument. It's an instrument for us to have the opportunity to look at data and make decisions based on data, and really be able to set some metrics and some parameters and be able to hold ourselves accountable. So it will, it's a start, but I think that it should be something that we can look back and really be proud of that work. Also, there's been a lot of conversations about our Council of Government housing goals. We did adopt a resolution where we affirmed that Montgomery County will work and will strive to meet those goals. And we understand that housing affordability continues to be a challenge for us in Montgomery County. Council of Governments have, got together with a group of experts and for an entire year worked on updating those targets. I was fortunate to participate in the housing work group for the Council of Governments, since I am a member of the board along with Councilmember Hucker, but I was one of the people that participated in that work group. And for Montgomery County, we know that those targets have been updated, and now our target is 41,000 units by 2030. And 75 of those we will strive to locate in activity centers, and 75 of those should be affordable. And so this has been, I think, a really important regional collaboration. I happened to visit with Prince George's County Executive Angela Alsobrooks last week, and we spoke about how this continues to be a challenge for us as a region, and we also vowed to work together to do everything possible because, when for example, Northern Virginia lands Amazon, we know that the region benefits from that. So anytime we're able to work collaboratively and land very important economic development assets, we know that the region benefits, right? We'd rather them come here than to go anywhere else in the country. So the issue of housing affordability is one that will help us in Montgomery County be competitive, just as it is with issues of the talent pipeline, just how it is with issues of transportation and with strategies for attraction retention and expansion of businesses, all of those elements that we affirmed in the economic development platform is what will position us to also be in the competition that we need to be, and also be able to land where we need to land. So I'm very excited about that. I think that we are not starting from scratch. We have a lot of particular tools that we've been working on for many years, and we will quickly start working on identifying the opportunities, the barriers, to see where we can go, and that's something that committees will start working on in January, and hopefully will bring the action plans to us in February. But the housing piece, I think it's one where we have a lot of opportunities. So excited about that. Also tomorrow, we will introduce Bill 36-19, Contracts and Procurement. This would be for Office of Grants Management established. This is an issue that we've been working on since the previous council, and it is to really formalize and reorganize the way that we manage our grants program. And so very excited about that. It's a little wonky, but I think it'll be really great for nonprofit organizations that have been trying for a long time to decipher how it is that we have two separate grants programs, and exactly, how do you plan. And it's a former co-founder and executive director of a nonprofit organization. I know how important it is to be able to have some continuity and to be able to understand and predict how you're going to manage your own budgets. So we're starting that. We're going to introduce it. It's been hard work of the Government Operations and Fiscal Policy Committee, the HHS Committee, and folks in the administration. So we're excited about that. The CROWN Act, it's been getting a lot of press as well nationally, and this is a bill that we also passed, which basically prohibits discrimination based on natural hairstyles, including braids, locks, afros, curls, and twists. And it's something that has received a lot of attention, I think, nationally, and we are leading the way. The state of California has been working hard on this issue, and here we are as a county doing it as well. So this has been, I think, very positive. Also, we're still working on the community policing bill. This is another way for us to affirm that Montgomery County will be a county where the police department will always abide by community policing principles. And we know that this is, especially in our county, such a diverse county, such a large county, that this is something that we need to really, truly address. And I think it's time to put it into law as a guiding principle, so that we don't just leave it up to chance with whoever it is that is the police chief, that instead that this is something that we all have in law. And speaking of police chiefs, of course, we're very thrilled that we have now Chief Marcus Jones heading our police department. And I think it was a really wonderful outcome on a very long process that as council president, I know I spent a lot of weekends trying to decipher, but really happy with this outcome. And I think that, along with this community policing bill, which Chief Jones as well as the FOP have given feedback into the bill, I think that will also be a really wonderful instrument. So, since this is a wrap up of kind of like the year, there'll be opportunities, I think, the first week in December to kind of talk a little bit about the year. It's been an amazing year. It's been a unique year, of course, because of all the transitions of a new administration after 12 years, as well as a pretty much new council. And so all of that has really, truly been unique, much more than I expected. But really, it's been a wonderful challenge. And I can say with pride that we worked together very collaboratively and in a very positive climate to achieve things like retaining our AAA bond rating, to really work on this operating budget in a seamless fashion, where we prioritized, as we always do, education funding. That was super important. Also making sure that we provided raises to our unions, while understanding that we needed to be mindful of our fiscal situation, I can say that, we have appointed a very large number of department heads, and we've also appointed very critical folks to our boards and commissions as well, so that's kept up super, super busy. But also really proud of our early care and education initiative. It is a 4-year plan that I authored, taking into consideration years and years of conversations and sessions and research, and that was adopted. And we did put a down payment of $7 million, which the goal is to match that as we go through to get to that issue of scalability. So that was a very important initiative for me personally after working on this for so many years. Obviously, our racial equity and social justice, our economic development platform, all of these changes like the grants office, all of these are structural changes, which in my opinion, it's important that at a time where we're in transition, that we at the same time take advantage of that opportunity to put in place structural frameworks. It's a moment to pause and reflect and then look and see where we can improve. So I'm really excited about that. I think I see here that we did make over 20 appointments. So that's extraordinary. And some of them were first. So Partat Verma is the first planning board member who's Asian, Indian, American, and openly gay. Megan Lamarzi is the first female inspector general of the county. Angela Talley is the first African American female to be director of Department of Corrections. And I believe that Selena Singleton may be the first African American clerk of the council. So we made a lot of firsts this year, which was really exciting. And then I also am proud of what we did to work with our community. We convened 2 youth town halls this year. I felt that it was important to go to the community, and we had one in Clarksburg and one in Wheaton with amazing, amazing turnout. We also conducted the Veers Mill Master Plan hearing in the community. So we went to the Holiday Park Senior Center and provided translation, and I think this is something that we need to continue to do. Our racial equity and social justice forums, we had over 1,000 people that participated in those forums. 60% of those folks were people of color, which was really cool. And also there were many, many organizations who conducted their own conversations, so that was really exciting. And not to mention a lot of public hearings, which we have had many of them. So that's been super exciting. We just had our Thanksgiving parade as well, and it didn't rain. It was great. It was a little cold, but it was great. And so off we are, hopefully to celebrate with our families and our friends, and give thanks for what I believe to be, at least personally, a really productive year here in our Montgomery County Council. I will close with saying that it's been, for me, an honor to look back at a year with so much change and see the body of work and how productive we have been. And we would not have been able to do this without the extraordinary work of our analysts, of our communication team, our people that keep the building clean, everybody who has had to pitch in some way to help us through, and of course our personal staff in our offices. So it's been really awesome. So with that, I'll entertain any questions if there are any. Questions?
Okay, great.
Great, thank you so much, everybody.